smoothly. And before that, we have a look at business that was transacted yesterday. And I'm Pauline Monga.
And so when business resumed, there was an announcement by Madam Speaker. She informed the House that the National Health Insurance Management Authority has sent to the National Assembly biometric cards for members of Parliament and staff who registered with the authority on 15th December 2022. And so the cards may be collected from the National Assembly Clinic on Friday, which is today, 31st December, and March, 2023, starting at 09 hours. Madam Speaker further informed the House that all members of Parliament who registered but did not collect their cards are encouraged to do so today.
And Madam Speaker yesterday rendered three rulings, and one of the rulings, the Honorable Madam Speaker rendered was on the complaint by Mr. S. Kampyongo, Member of Parliament for Shiwangandu constituency, against members of the Committee on Health, Community Development and Social Services who voted against the committee's report on Friday, 16th December 2022.
In the second ruling, this was on a point of order raised on Friday, 24th March 2023 by Mrs. K.S. Mulenga, Member of Parliament for Kalulushi constituency, against Mr. L. Mwene, Member of Parliament for Mukango constituency, for alleging that the House was harboring thieves.
And the third ruling, Madam Speaker rendered on, was on the point of order raised on Friday, 10th March 2023 by the Honorable Minister of Justice, Honorable Haimbe, and this was against Mr. E. Tembo, Member of Parliament for Feira constituency, for misleading the nation by alleging that the Republican President had not spoken clearly on the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex LGBTI rights, and that no action had been taken on the matter.
Thereafter, there was a ministerial statement to Parliament on the 15th session of the Conference of Parties, COP15 of the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, UNCBD, 7 to 19 December 2022, Montreal, Canada. And so this ministerial statement was delivered by Honorable Elijah Mchima, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources.
And then after the three rulings and the ministerial statement, Her Honor the Vice President moved a motion to suspend Standing Orders 27, 105, and 115 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2021 to enable the House to complete all business on the order paper on Friday, today, 31st March 2023, and all matters arising therefrom, and that on such completion the House do adjourn sine die.
And so that is basically business that was considered on the floor of the House yesterday, 30th of March 2023. Do stand by as we look at today's order paper.
And today, Friday, 31st March 2023, and the last day of the month, as well as the last day of the business for this sitting, we have quite a number of questions to be considered on the floor of the House. And we have two questions under Standing Order 76, and one of the questions is coming from Pika Central Member of Parliament, Mr. Kapyanga, and he wants to pose a question to the Minister of Finance and National Planning, and wants to know the status of the country's bailout package under the International Monetary Fund program, and what benefits, if any, have resulted from the program.
The second question will come from Itezi Member of Parliament, Mr. Mtinta, and he has directed his question to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. He wants to find out whether the government is aware that there are people selling alcohol to students and young people at the entrance of Evelyn Horn College and National Institute of Public Administration along Dushebe Road in Lusaka, and in B, if so, what urgent measures have been taken to curb the illegal act and avert moral decay of young people around that area.
And under questions for oral answer, Standing Order 76, we have 6 questions, and one of the questions is coming from Kanchibia Member of Parliament, Mr. Sande Chanda, and he wants to find out from the Minister of Agriculture whether government has any plans to provide transport to the District Agriculture Coordinator's Office in Kanchibia District to ease operational challenges, and if so, when the plans will be implemented, and what form of transport will be provided.
Another question will come from Chama North Member of Parliament, Mr. Yota Mutayachalo, and he has directed his question to the Minister of Tourism. He wants to find out whether the government has any plans to designate Chama district as a game management area, and in B, if so, when the plans will be implemented.
And of course, Matimba, we have 3 government bills that will be considered at different stages. We have the Examinations Council of Zambia bill, National Assembly Bill number 2023, which will be considered in committee. We also have the Anti-Terrorism and Non-Proliferation Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 32 of 2022, which will be considered in committee. Rather, it will be considered at report stage. And we also have the Controlled Substances Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2023, which will be considered at a 3rd reading stage.
Another question will come from Mukaika Member of Parliament, Mr. Pipiri, and he has directed his question to the Minister of Education. He wants to find out whether the government has any plans to construct a university in Katete district, and in B, if so, when the plans will be implemented.
And question 254 expected to come from Chimbamilonga Member of Parliament, Mr. Elias Musonda, and he wants to find out from the Minister of Education why the construction of Lwansengwe boarding school in Chimbamilonga parliamentary constituency has stalled, and when the project will resume, and at what stage of the completion, what stage of completion the completing the construction works are, and what the cost of the outstanding works are. So those are some of the questions that are expected to be considered on the floor of the House. And just now we cross to the floor of the House for live debates. Good morning.
Members of Parliament, Madam Speaker.
Tendency of Zambia, proud and free, land of wealth and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by those who blend. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun. Oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace in Zambia's sky, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great Zambia, Zambia, Zambia. Remain we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, I have 3 announcements and 4 rulings. Honorable members, the National Assembly of Zambia is conducting a survey whose aim is to determine safe delivery at the National Assembly Members Motel. The survey is designed to capture feedback relating to facilities and services at the motel. In this regard, a self-administered questionnaire will be distributed in the House today, Friday, 31st March 2023. Members are requested to complete the questionnaire and deposit them at the main reception desk before the House adjourns in DA later today. I thank you. The next announcement is that Her Honor, I've received communication to the effect that in the absence of Her Honor, the Vice President, who is attending to other government business, the Honorable Minister of Defense, Honorable Ambrose L. Lufuma, MP, has been appointed acting leader of government business in the House. I thank you. The last announcement, honorable members, is that I wish to inform the House that the Vice President of the United States of America, Madam Kamala Harris, will this afternoon pay a courtesy call on the Honorable Madam Speaker as part of her official visit to Zambia. This announcement is for information of the House. I thank you. We move to rulings. The first ruling is on a point of order raised by Honorable B. M. Munduvile, Leader of Opposition, against Honorable Dr. S. Musokotwani, Minister of Finance and National Planning, for misleading the House and the nation on the role of the consortium in the construction of proposed Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway. Honorable members will recall that on Thursday, 16th March 2023, when the House was considering the motion of thanks to the President's address on national values and principles, and Honorable Dr. S. Musokotwani, Minister of Finance and National Planning, was debating, Honorable B. M. Munduvile, Leader of Opposition, raised a point of order against Honorable Dr. S. Musokotwani, MP. At the time, Honorable Dr. S. Musokotwani, MP, was questioning the sentiments by some members of the public that the National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA, should not fund the consortium constructing the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway. The point of order was premised on Standing Order 65 of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2021, which requires members to ensure that the information they bring to the House is factual and verifiable. In his point of order, Honorable B. M. Munduvile, MP, stated that the public was concerned that previously NAPSA had funded the construction of some roads through the National Road Fund Agency, NRFA. He therefore asked whether Honorable Dr. S. Musokotwani, MP, was in order to insist that what he was doing was right when NAPSA could fund the consortium of the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway through NRFA instead of the consortium. In his immediate response, the Honorable Mr. Second Deputy Speaker reserved his ruling in order to study the matter and render a measured ruling. I have studied the matter and I will now render my ruling. I wish to begin by reminding honorable members of the purpose of a point of order. Standing Order 131-1 of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2021, is instructive in this regard. It provides as follows, and I quote, 131-1. A member who is of the opinion that the rules of procedure have been breached by another member may raise a point of order, end of quote. Honorable members, from the foregoing provision, it is clear that a point of order is used to bring to the attention of the House a breach of procedure or the rules of the House. Honorable members, the scrutiny of Honorable B. M. Munduvile's MP's point of order revealed that he used it to present a different position from the Honorable Minister regarding the financing of the Lusaka Ndola dual carriageway by NAPSA. While he asserted that the Honorable Minister was misleading the House, his assertion was not that the Honorable Minister had presented a different position to the House earlier, or the Honorable Minister's position was contrary to the government's position. Rather, his assertion was that the Honorable Minister's position was different from that of the public, which was for NAPSA to fund the road directly through NRFA. In other words, he was expressing his and the public's view regarding the role NAPSA should play in financing the Lusaka Ndola dual carriageway. As earlier stated, a point of order is intended to raise a procedural breach. It therefore cannot be used to raise a contrary or divergent position on a matter. Instead, a member who has a contrary view on any issue should indicate to debate. In view of the foregoing, the point of order is not admissible. Honorable members have observed a growing tendency by honorable members to use points of orders to debate. That is an abuse of a point of order. There are various avenues available to honorable members to express their opinions on matters. These include motions and questions. Therefore, going forward, I will not entertain any attempt to debate through a point of order. I thank you. The second ruling is on a point of order raised on Thursday, 16th March 2023, by Honorable G. Nkombo, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, against Honorable B. M. Munduvile, Leader of Opposition, and Mr. S. Kampiongo, Patriotic Front Party Whip, for allowing members of the Patriotic Front Party to abscond from sittings of the House. Honorable members will recall that on Thursday, 16th March 2023, when the House was considering the motion of thanks to the President's address on national values and principles, and Honorable S. Masevo, Minister of Health, had just concluded debating, Honorable G. Nkombo, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, raised a point of order. The point of order was against Honorable B. M. Munduvile, Leader of Opposition, and Mr. S. Kampiongo, Patriotic Front Whip. In his point of order, Honorable G. Nkombo, MP, cited Standing Order 49 of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Order 2021, which sets out the duties of a party whip or whip in the House. In particular, he inquired whether Honorable B. M. Munduvile, MP, and Mr. S. Kampiongo, MP, were in order to allow members of the Patriotic Front Party to merely register in order to earn an allowance and thereafter abscond from the House the previous day, bringing the business of the House to the brink of collapse. The relevant part of the Standing Order 49 provides as follows, and I quote, duties of party whip or whip. 49. The duties of a party whip or whip includes A, ensuring attendance and participation of party or independent members in the House. End of quote. The import of the foregoing is that a party whip has a duty to ensure the attendance and participation of members of his or her party in the House. In his immediate reaction to the point of order, the Honorable Mr. Second Deputy Speaker reserved his ruling in order to appreciate the matter and render a measured ruling. Honorable members, I have since studied the matter and I will now render my ruling. Honorable members, the point of order raises the issue of the duty of a party whip or whip to ensure the attendance of members of their party in the House. Honorable members have had recourse to the verbatim record of the proceedings of the material day. I also had recourse to the relevant video footage in order to ascertain what had transpired on that day. Indeed, at the time Honorable Gigi Nkombo MP was raising his point of order at approximately 18 hours, there were very few members of the Patriotic Front Party in the House. The video footage also shows that members did leave the House soon after registering, as alleged by Honorable Gigi Nkombo MP, but left. Sorry, let me read that again. The video footage also shows that the members did not leave the House soon after registering, as alleged by Honorable Gigi Nkombo MP, but left after the business of the House was well underway. They therefore did not just register their presence and leave as alleged in the point of order. It was also apparent that their departure from the House did not affect the business of the House because the quorum required to transact business was maintained. Therefore, Honorable B. M. Munduvile MP and Honorable S. Kampyongo MP did not breach their respective duties in that regard. They were not out of order. I thank you. Maybe I can take a seat so that the honorable members who are outside can come in. We can continue. The third ruling is on a point of order raised on Thursday, 23rd March 2023 by Mr. S. Kampyongo, Member of Parliament for Shuangandu constituency, against Honorable Dr. S. Musokotwane MP. Minister of Finance and National Planning, for alleging that the 2022 budget speech superseded the credibility of all budgets since independence. Honorable members, the House will recall that on Thursday, 23rd March 2023, the House was considering the motion to adopt the report of the Planning and Budgeting Committee on the review of the third and fourth quarter performance of the 2022 budget for selected ministries and provinces. The House will further recall that when Honorable Dr. S. Musokotwane MP, Minister of Finance and National Planning, Minister of Finance and National Planning was responding to issues raised on the report by members, Mr. S. Kampyongo, Member of Parliament for Shuangandu constituency, raised a point of order against Honorable Dr. S. Musokotwane MP based on Standing Order 65-1B. In his point of order, Mr. S. Kampyongo MP inquired whether Honorable Dr. S. Musokotwane MP was in order to ignore the report and claimed that since independence, the only budget with credibility was the 2022 budget. thus suggesting that the budgets that he himself had presented to the House when he was Minister of Finance under the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy lacked credibility. Honorable members, in her immediate response, the Honorable Madam First Deputy Speaker reserved her ruling. I have since studied the matter and I will now render my ruling. Honorable members, Mr. S. Kampyongo MP's point of order was premised on Standing Order 65-1B of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2021. Standing Order 65 on content of speech provides as follows, and I quote 65. 1. A member who is debating shall b. ensure that the information he or she provides to the House is factual and verifiable. End of quote. Honorable members, in investigating the matter, I had recourse to the verbatim record of the proceedings of Thursday, 23rd March 2023. The verbatim record revealed that the Honorable Minister stated as follows, and I quote, I have to be frank and tell you that for the first time since independence, the credibility of the 2021 budget tops the list. End of quote. The credibility of the 2022 budget tops the list. End of quote. It is clear from the foregoing statement that the Honorable Minister neither ignored the report nor discredited the other budgets that had passed through this House since independence, as alleged by Mr. S. Kampyongo MP. Rather, the Honorable Minister merely stated that the 2022 budget topped the list, or in other words, was the most credible. This did not in any way mean previous budgets had not been credible. Honorable members, in view of the foregoing, Honorable Dr. Esim Sokotwan MP was not out of order. I thank you. The last ruling is on a point of order raised on Friday, 24th March 2023 by Honorable J.J. Mwimbu, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, against Mr. Eni Chilangwa, Member of Parliament for Kawambwa constituency, for alleging that the sojolite in Kabwe had gone missing. Honorable members will recall that on Friday, 24th March 2023, when the House was considering matters of urgent public importance, and Mr. Eni Chilangwa, Member of Parliament for Kawambwa constituency, was on the floor, Honorable J.J. Mwimbu, MP, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, raised a point of order against Mr. Eni Chilangwa, MP, premised on Standing Order 65-1B of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2021. In his point of order, Honorable J.J. Mwimbu, MP, inquired whether the member was in order to allege that the sojolite that was impounded in Kabwe had gone missing. Honorable members, in her immediate response, the Honorable Madam First Deputy Speaker reserved her ruling in order to study the matter. I have since studied the matter and I will now render my ruling. Honorable members, the point of order raises the issue of a member's duty to ensure that the information he or she provides to the House when debating is factual and verifiable, as required, that is well known to all members. Standing Order 65-1B of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2021, provides as follows, and I quote, 1. A member who is debating shall b. ensure that the information he or she provides to the House is factual and verifiable. End of quote. In view of the foregoing, I had recourse to the verbatim record of the proceedings of Friday, 24th March 2023, during the matters of urgent public importance segment, in order to determine whether the alleged statement was made by Mr. N. Chilangwa, MP. Honorable members, the verbatim recording reveals that Mr. N. Chilangwa, MP, in raising a matter of urgent public importance, alleged that 750 million kwacha worth of sojolite had gone missing from a police station. Honorable members, I have taken note of the fact that Mr. N. Chilangwa, MP, did not produce any documentary or cogent evidence as envisaged by Standing Order 65 to support his allegation that 750 million kwacha worth of sugilite had gone missing. As a matter of fact, Honorable J.J. Mwimbu, MP, in raising his point of order, stated that the sugilite had been secured by the Provincial Joint Security Committee. I also take cognizance of the fact that the Honorable Minister was speaking from a place of knowledge, owing to the fact that the Provincial Joint Security Committee falls under his shared portfolio function with the Honorable Minister of Defense. Honorable members, in view of the foregoing, I find Mr. N. Chilangwa, MP, in clear violation of Standing Order 65-1B of the National Assembly of Zambia National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2021, and therefore out of order. Finally, I wish to seize this opportunity again to caution members against making unsubstantiated and unverified statements in the House. This is because such statements have the potential to mislead the House and the public at large. I thank you. Honorable member for Kawamba, you know that newspapers are not evidence. It's just hearsay. Are these all matters of urgent public importance? Okay, let's hear them, but I hope, honorable members, you are aware of the criteria for bringing up a matter of urgent public importance. I'll start with the honorable member. There's honorable member for Kabwata, Chama, North, Mpika, Sioma, Mkaika, Mitete, and Mbej. That is all. So we start with the honorable member for Kabwata.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise on a matter of urgent public importance, and the matter is directed to the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
What's the matter, honorable member? You may proceed.
Madam Speaker, if you check the news of yesterday and today, we've been greeted actually with disturbing news. I'll speak especially for my constituency, where we have heard that 3 children from different schools have been abducted by these bloodthirsty monsters who are in a habit of even going to the extent of killing children. Madam Speaker, the parents out there, including myself and some of these honorable members of parliament who have children that are going to school, are actually worried, and they don't even know whether they should allow their children to go to school because of the activities that have been happening, especially in the past 2 days and as at yesterday. Madam Speaker, is the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs in order just to keep quiet without saying anything to that effect, especially that not only your children, Madam Speaker, or your grandchildren, but the children of many citizens are actually worried. I seek your serious indulgence, Madam Speaker.
Order, order. Let's listen to the points that are being raised. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, there is a concern over the continued killing of children. It has been reported in several newspapers. It's getting worried. Is there anything that you can say on this matter?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm surprised that my honorable colleague can say I'm just quiet seated here without making a statement. He knows that you were on the floor, and I could not make a statement without giving the opportunity to make a statement. Let's not abuse these facilities on the floor of this House. Madam Speaker, I take note of the importance of that point of order of urgent nature. I would like to assure the nation that the Zambia Police Service, in conjunction with the other security wings of government, are on the ground investigating these matters. You may have noted that 2 kids who were killed in the last 1 month, the perpetrators of all those heinous acts have been arrested. I also wish to appeal to members of the public, including the Member of Parliament for Kabwata, to work with the community. The perpetrators of these acts are within the community. Let's identify anyone who's suspicious and whom we think is involved in such activities. Let them be reported to security wings. It does not help, Madam Speaker, to wait until you come to the House and raise a point of urgent nature. It is our responsibility as leaders to ensure that our people are safe. I also want to state, Madam Speaker, that Zambia Police Service has constituted a program called community policing. We would like to urge the leaders in the community to work with the police in order to curb these vices. It is not only the vice which he has indicated. We have also noted there are also individuals who are agitating to ensure that there is civil strife in the country. Yesterday, some individuals were heard agitating that members of the public should rise. I want to warn those who are agitating unrest in the country that the long arm of the law will catch up with them. If you have a grievance, there are procedures of following those grievances. It does not help anyone to start agitating for unrest in this country. We only have one country which we cherish. We cannot allow anyone to cause an in this country. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for, is it Mukushi? Mukushi South. What's the point of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I raise on point of orders. The question the Honorable Member for Kawata raised was the abduction and the killing of our children. The Minister has veered off and start warning people who are talking about protests. Is he in order to veer off the issue that was raised and start threatening a community that we will, when we are talking about the rule of law and people have got rights that they can demonstrate when they are given permission by the Minister of Home Affairs? I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker. Standing order number
thank you very much,
65.
Honorable Member for Mukoshi South, for the point of order. But unfortunately, you did not cite the breach. No, it's what? No, don't cite on behalf of members. Can we have some order? What breach has been breached? What breach? You did not cite any breach. So although you've raised
Standing
the point
order
of
number
order,
65, Madam Speaker.
no, you
65
can't.
2.
You can't. I'm already making a ruling. I'm already making a ruling. So, please, honorable members, as we stand up to raise points of order, let's cite the breach. And from what the minister was saying, I don't know what breach was committed in the process. He was just appealing to the members or to all of us to work with the police to ensure that our children, our grandchildren, for us who have grandchildren, are not killed in the process. Please, let's work together with the police. We only have one Zambia. Let's preserve it and live in peace with each other. Honorable Kampion, we want to say something.
It's a follow-up question.
Sorry, I say Honorable Member for sure.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's understood, it's all the same. Madam Speaker, the concern raised by the Honorable MP for Kabwata is a grave one. And speaking about him, it reminds us on when we came here as backbenchers in Nakuzingwa there, as backbenchers of the ruling party. We are supposed to hold the front bench accountable. You are just on firm grounds. Madam Speaker, this issue is a very serious one. On the Copper Belt, I think last week, in the Kitwe, the parents actually were trying to gang up and protest because those whose children are jumping on buses to go to school, they will have to make sure that when the children are boarding the buses and disembarking, they are sharing in order to make sure that the children are not even allowed to walk at distances from where they are disembarking from the buses. And further to that, Honorable Minister, the attacks on ordinary citizens is now getting out of hand. We were at UTH with Honorable Kalarwe just the other day, where a gentleman closer to him was clobbered just here in North Mid, where people were just trying to snatch a few things that he was carrying. What specific measures? Yes, we have heard about you requesting the members of the community to collaborate with the Zambia Police Service. But what specific measures are you putting in place to ensure that the children and the citizens are protected against these perpetrators of violence and stealing of people's properties is kept? Because if nothing is done, we are playing with a time bomb. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs can comment on that.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank my colleague, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Shwangandu, for that concern and question which she has raised. As I did allude earlier, Madam Speaker, I did appeal to members of the public to work with Zambia Police and other security agencies to ensure that the perpetrators of these heinous acts are brought to book. That is the most important thing. It's the source of information and intelligence. Once we do that, the police will be able to move in. As I did indicate, these perpetrators of these acts are from our communities. They live with us, and the communities know these suspicious characters who are carrying out these acts. Zambia Police, Madam Speaker, is also ensuring that foot patrols and patrols at night are undertaken to ensure that the lives of our people are protected. I would like to mention here that as we undertake these measures, members of the public will be inconvenienced. Don't complain when we undertake stringent measures to protect the lives of our people. I would not want to go further because I'll be, arming the perpetrators of these vices.
Thank you very much. So we go to the next matter of urgent public importance. The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The matter of urgent public importance I wish to raise is directly to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
What's the matter, Honorable Member? Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm a bearer of the message of distress from former workers of Zambia Electricity Supply Corporation, ZESCO, and local authorities countrywide who have not been paid their pension benefits, and most of them, Madam Speaker, have died, and actually many lives are at stake because they are not able to cope with the high cost of living because they have not been paid their pension benefits. Further, Madam Speaker, the Local Authority Superannuation Fund, LASIF, has not also been paying annuities. Annuity is a pension payment which is paid annually. But for the past 2 years now, LASIF has not been paying these former workers. Madam Speaker, furthermore, I'm aware that LASIF has been facing severe financial challenges because they are not allowed to recruit new members following the death of NAPSA in 2000, and therefore it is unable to meet its financial obligation. I seek your guidance, Madam Speaker, before we lose a lot of our former workers who have provided dedicated and distinguished service to this nation.
Honorable Member for Chairman North, the matter that you have raised is not of a recent occurrence. The issue of payment of pension and also LASIF benefits, it has been ongoing for a long time. So what you can do, Honorable Member, is to urge you to engage the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development to see how these members can be assisted. As for admissibility, the matter is not admitted because it's not of recent occurrence. The Honorable Member for Sioma.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My matter of urgent public importance is directed to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development has just come in. What's the matter, Honorable Member, so that the Minister can hear?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Sometime in 2020, the PF government did engage. Listen, you were Nish. What's the problem?
Order, Honorable Member. Just come to the recent event, if there is any recent event. Don't give historical perspectives.
Well guided, Madam Speaker. A company called Omni Contractors engaged to do light graveling on a stretch of 26 kilometers in my constituency. That is from Matewele, Kalongola, and then to Kalenge. Did trench excavation in readiness for installation of culvert on about 6 spots. These trenches, Madam Speaker, have been left bare for the last 2 years. And no road signs have been placed on these spots, causing danger to road users. Sometime last year, a vehicle traveling on this same stretch had one of its occupants falling down when the driver tried to navigate to save one of these spots. As late as yesterday again, another cab or a taxi which was traveling on this stretch plunged in one of these trenches, Madam Speaker, causing death to yet another soul, another human being, another occupant, another resident of Sioma. I'm afraid, Madam Speaker, if this spot is not worked on, the people of Sioma will continue losing their lives. I'm therefore appealing, or therefore my matter is the Minister of Local Government in order to ignore the negligence on the part of the contractors, Omni, who deliberately ignored to backfill these trenches, even when they knew they were not ready to place culvert on this road? I need your serious guidance, Madam Speaker. I submit.
Order, order. Honorable Member, that matter looks like it's a matter that has been going on. But the only concern that I have is vehicles plunging in these same trenches that have been left gapping. And the danger that, the risk that the people in the area run, there might be some further mishaps there. Maybe the Honorable Minister of Local Government can shed some light.
I've been caught on my back foot, Madam Speaker, but because this is a matter that is familiar to me, I will attempt to attend to it. To begin with, I would like to state that this scenario is not exclusive to the road in Sioma. There are many sites that have been left unattended by various contractors in the country, and predominantly in the north part of the country. You may wish to note, Madam Speaker, that Sioma was one of the constituencies that was represented by an independent member of parliament in the last parliament who was aligned to Patriotic Front, and therefore it is not surprising that Sioma was one of those roads, towns that got the benefit of the rural connectivity roads. As I stated before, Madam Speaker, that all these contracts were either terminated or they had done their time in terms of cessation. So some ceased on account of time lapse, others ceased on account of non-performance, others ceased on account of what we all know, the non-availability of funds because they were over-procured against the budget. That is a story that everyone is aware about. Zeroing down on the road in Sioma, Madam Speaker, we have asked all the contractors who have given termination letters to prepare a final account on their contracts so that we could get to a final reconciliation of the statuses of each road. In the case of Omni, which the colleague is interested to know what we must do immediately to circumvent the events of what happened yesterday when a taxi plunged into the culvert and last year. I think that I want to assure the colleague that will engage the Omni company. Fortunately, there has been a declaration of interest. One of the directors of Omni is one among us here. We are going to sit and discuss on how to ensure that these crossing points are secured for the purposes of saving lives going into the future. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
In view of the fact that one of the members, we do not debate ourselves, so I will encourage the honorable members, the minister, and whoever the other person is, to engage and see how that issue can be sorted out. The honorable member for Mitete.
Madam Speaker, thank you so very much. This matter is already known by the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Affairs, Internal Security, but the acting leader of government business is included. Madam Speaker, people in Mitete, Lupui ward in particular, are not safe. I know that the minister started working by yesterday, but it is so urgent that if it were possible by today, security officers should be in Mitete, Lupui ward, Maundu village. People are living in the bush because 4 unknown people armed burnt houses, shot at people. Luckily, one has survived, And if this situation is left unchecked, Madam Speaker, due to network challenges, I don't want to bring in the Minister of Science and Technology, but due to network challenges, people had to walk to come and report this case, Lukulu. Due to the unfinished and stalled police station, they had to walk for kilometers and kilometers. And this needs its urgency. If it were possible, lifting me as well, just to go and put the situation at calm. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. They brought in the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, the leader of government business. I don't know who can shed some light. There's a situation, but you said the minister is already aware. So if the Honorable Minister is already aware, why can't you liaise? And we are breaking today and see that something is done. I don't know, maybe I don't want to talk on behalf of the minister. Honorable Minister, there's a situation in Mitete.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the situation that has been alluded to by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Mitete was brought to my attention yesterday in the afternoon. We are taking measures to ensure that the security situation returns to normal in that particular ward.
Thank you very much. So the government is aware and something is being done about it. The Honorable Member for Mwembeji.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Order first, Honorable. Honorable members, please do not keep on indicating. I had already closed the list. We have other business to do. We are not here only for matters of urgent public importance. Because of the number of the matters of urgent public importance that have been raised, I will not encourage members to ask follow-up questions where the position is a bit clear. It's clear. The position as given by the minister is clear. For example, in the case of Mitete, the government is aware and they are taking measures. So I don't know what other follow-up question can be asked. So let's proceed. Honorable Member for Mwembeji.
It's fine, Madam Speaker. I've been taken by events.
Thank you very much for that. Honorable Member for Wengwa. He's not even there. Oh.
Thank you so much, Honorable Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my question is directed at the leader of government business, the acting. Madam Speaker, in Wengwa constituents right now, cattle rustling is on a very rampant. Right now, farmers are losing a lot of animals, and some people have started sleeping near their crows. And we don't even have police posts in Wengwa constituents. But right now, the government is busy giving out money to somebody who doesn't deserve to get that money, providing security to somebody who doesn't deserve that security. Instead of bringing that security to Wengwa constituents, because people now, they are busy killing each other because of the same stealing of a cattle. And I believe the scenario is similar to all the constituencies where people are keeping cattle. Madam Speaker, I want a very, very truthful answer this morning today. Imagine money is being provided to somebody who was supposed to resign from politics. Okay? The former Republican president who even mentioned that once a politician
Order,
Once a
order.
politician
Order,
will
honorable members.
always be a politician.
Order, order. Order, honorable members. Today is the last day. I want to finish on a good note. So, honorable member for Bwengwa, that issue I think is more political than for the House. So you can deal with it politically. Honorable member from Kaika.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. My matter of urgent public importance is directed to the Minister of Home Affairs. Thank
you. You may proceed, honorable member from Kaika.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, unknown people armed with an AK-47 staged a robbery at a shop opposite St. Francis in Katete. It is believed that a gun and a coat written Zambia police and a motorbike, which were later abandoned by these criminals, belongs to the Zambia police Katete. Madam Speaker, similar incidents have happened in the past where lives were even lost and colossal sums of money stolen from some shop owners in Katete and also filling station. These robbers were intercepted and later freed by some people who were just nearby that shop. Madam Speaker, my matter of public attention is that some people are living in fear in Katete, because seeing that these weapons, which are supposed to be used to protect citizens in the area, are now being used for robbery in the area. And if this matter is left unattended to, that means we are going to lose a lot of lives. As I said, similar instances has happened and people have lost their lives. Madam Speaker, I need your indulgence in this matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Maybe you can just assist. When did that happen? You didn't state when.
It happened on Sunday, and one police officer was picked for investigation. He's in Chipata right now. That is 3 days ago.
So maybe the Honorable Minister can say something about that.
Madam Speaker, I'm aware of the situation that obtained in Katete. As he has rightly indicated, we have already picked one suspect who is alleged to be a police officer. As I respond to this, I want to state, Madam Speaker, that when we are given responsibility to recruit individuals to be employed under security wings, let us be very cautious and careful. Because if we are careless, we end up recruiting criminals to be employed by security wings. It should never happen again, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Shwangan, do you want to ask a question on that? Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Indeed, our honorable minister really looks moi. Order. May the honorable member for Shwangan
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And indeed, I totally agree with you. The Honorable Minister for Community Development is looking superb. And I hope she's not planning to go with Madam Kamara Harris. Madam Speaker, the issue that has been raised by the Honorable MP for Katete is a very serious one. And Honorable Minister, recruiting is a process, and indeed it might be very difficult to know at one point. People become criminals even in different professions, depending on who they are. But you recall, Honorable Minister, that this is an area where members of the public had to react in a manner that now brought them in conflict with the law because of this perceived inertia from the Zambia Police Service. You recall that you have got youths who are appearing before the court who reacted. What is being done to avoid the occurrence of what transpired? Because when people lose confidence in the Zambia police officers, anything can happen. What is your ministry doing to ensure that what occurred in Katete area, where members of the public reacted to this inertia of the police, now we have got this issue of weapons that are supposed to protect citizens being used in criminal activities? What stringent measures are you putting in place to ensure that the people of Katete are assured of safety? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to state that as one of the measures to ensure that there is professionalism in the police service, we have started a process of retraining police officers so that as they execute their official duties, they remain professional. Obviously, in exceptional circumstances like the one that occurred in Katete, that particular alleged police officer was misconducting himself criminally, and that is why the members of the public took the law in their own hands. Obviously, members of the public have a right of arrest if they find that an individual, whether police officer or not, if he is found committing an offense, the members of the public have a right to effect citizens' arrest, and that was the attempt which they wanted to do in Katete. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. We have spent almost 30 minutes on this issue. Let's make progress. We have other business on the order paper. I have permitted the Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry to make a ministerial statement. The Honorable Minister of Commerce and Trade and Industry.
Madam Speaker, may I take this opportunity to thank you for allowing me to deliver a ministerial statement on the status of the joint initiative between Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, on the establishment of a value chain in the electric battery and clean energy sector. Members of the House may recall that the initiative started when His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, was invited by His Excellency Mr. Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Chilombo, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, to attend the multi-stakeholder DRC Africa Business Forum from 24th to 25th November 2021. The aim of the Business Forum was to foster development of a robust electric vehicle battery.
Order,
EVB.
honorable members, can we listen to the ministerial statement, please? Can we pay attention? There's too much talking. May the minister proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The aim of the Business Forum was to foster the development of a robust electric vehicle battery, EVB, and renewable energy value chain and market in Africa. It was during the Business Forum that the two heads of state committed to implementing the joint EVB initiative between the Republic of Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Madam Speaker, to that end, in April 2022, Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo, through respective ministers responsible for industry, finance and mines, signed the cooperation agreement between the two countries on the establishment of a value chain in the electric battery and clean energy sector. The purpose of the cooperation agreement is to provide a framework for bilateral cooperation and to facilitate and strengthen collaboration between the two countries on a non-exclusive basis in areas of common interest necessary for the establishment of the battery value chain. Among the areas of cooperation outlined in the cooperation agreement include 1. The establishment of a common governance framework, and 2. The identification of an implementation site, such as a special economic zone in both countries to house the initiative. Madam Speaker and members of the House, regarding the establishment of a common governance framework, the cooperation agreement provides for the Zambia-DRC Battery Council, which is composed of the two heads of state, the Deputy Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, and the President of the Africa Export-Import Bank, Afreximbank, as well as any other reputable individuals to be recommended by the two heads of states. The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, and Afreximbank engaged the two countries in working on a joint initiative to move up the mineral value chain during the DRC Africa Business Forum. The two institutions were identified as strategic, technical, and financial partners for the successful implementation of the Zambia-DRC Joint EVB initiative. Following the signing of the cooperation agreement, the two governments engaged UNECA and Afreximbank and negotiated an agreement for the establishment of a special economic zone dedicated to the production of battery precursors, batteries, and electric vehicles. The zones will be developed in accordance with the laws governing the establishment of special economic zones in the respective countries. Members of the House, I am pleased to report that the agreement was signed by the four parties, Zambia, DRC, UNECA, and Afreximbank on the 27th of March 2023 in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, where I just returned recently on Monday. The agreement provides a great opportunity towards accelerating the implementation of the joint initiative and harnessing the mineral resource wealth of the two countries to foster mineral-based industrialization. Following the initiative and vision of His Excellency the Republican President of bringing value addition and industrialization to Zambia. Madam Speaker and members of the House, regarding the identification of an implementation site for the initiative, at the time of signing the cooperation agreement in April 2022, DRC had already identified land which would be carved out of the 500 hectares Kipushi Special Economic Zone in the Haut Katanga region for the initiative. On the other hand, with a view to identify potential sites for the Special Economic Zone for Zambia, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development led a land identification exercise in various towns of the Copperbelt province in May 2022. During the exercise, potential sites were identified and visited, with recommendations provided for each site was visited. Resulting from this exercise, follow-up ground truthing exercises were undertaken by officers from the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Ministry of Land and Natural Resources, Ministry of Mines and Minerals Development, Ministry of Finance and National Planning, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, and the Copperbelt Province, with the view to arrive at a decision on a proposed site for the Special Economic Zone in Zambia. Members of the House, I am pleased to report that a suitable site was identified on the Copperbelt particularly in Ndola for the initiative, in a view to revive Ndola as an industrial zone as it used to be in the past. The site was selected for its proximity not only to the mineral resource and the DRC, but also its proximity to necessary amenities such as the road network. Madam Speaker, let me highlight that one of the core principles that Afreximbank will consider in the development of its proposal to the governments of Zambia and DRC is the conclusion of a pre-feasibility study on the land identified for the special economic zones. The pre-feasibility study shall constitute the basis relied on for the principal characteristics of the zones, including the purpose of the industrial estate, utilization of surface areas, and typology of activities, among others. Therefore, with the signing of the agreement by Zambia, DRC, UNECA, and Afreximbank on 27 March 2023, the conducting of a pre-feasibility study on the identified land is expected to commence soon in the next 3 weeks. Madam Speaker, let me conclude by stating that the electric vehicle battery value chain initiative comes in the wake of a global transition towards a decarbonized world and renewable energy. This shift, Madam Speaker, and members of the House, will be powered by critical and strategic minerals which Zambia and the DRC possesses. In this regard, Madam Speaker and members of the House, there is need for our two countries, which are well endowed, to transform how we manage and utilize our natural resources. Government is therefore committed to promoting activities that generate value for our natural resources locally. We want to see our people benefit from the country's mineral wealth, unlike the previous trend of exporting our resources in a raw form. I am confident, Madam Speaker, that with the implementation of the Zambia-DRC Joint EVB initiative, we shall see Zambia's mineral resources playing a more significant role in the country's industrialization agenda and its socio-economic transformation. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you for that ministerial statement. Honorable members are now free to ask questions on points of clarification on the ministerial statement given by the Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry. The Honorable Member for Shiwangandu.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. We appreciate the ministerial statement which has been rendered by the Honorable Minister responsible for Commerce, Trade and Industry. In your statement, Honorable Minister, you have indicated that the signing of this quadripartite deal was done, I think, last week or maybe this week in the DRC. And you have shared with us the steps that will follow. Earlier this year, the Republican president and his counterpart from the DRC, Tshisekedi Chilombo, witnessed the signing ceremony of an MOU between your counterpart, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Zambia, and his colleague from the DRC, which was done before State Secretary in the US. Would you kindly share with this August House and the nation at large what the role or the interest the United States of America will have to play in this transaction? Because out of those, that quadripartite arrangement does not speak to the US, but that MOU was signed before the US Secretary of State. And you know the protocol arrangements of signing MOUs in such fashion, it means that that state before which the MOU has been signed has got an interest. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Excuse me. Indeed, the Zambian government, the DRC, and the United States of America signed an agreement regarding the electric battery value chain with the USA. What we signed, Madam Speaker, with the USA is for technical support. Truth be told, America is one among the leaders in this sector. Tesla, among many others, are coming in from the US. So should we need any technical support in what we are doing, the Americans are open to this initiative. But Madam Speaker, that signing of agreement was not exclusive to limit the Americans to be the ones to deal with us in this electric battery value chain. We are open to many other countries. And I should report to this House, among many others, including China and others, just like yesterday, we had a good meeting where a company called CMOC from China has expressed interest to do the same setting up of battery value chain in our country, and we are in talks with them. But it will be premature for me to bring a statement about them while we are talking. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Nkana.
Honorable Minister, let me put it on record that your approach to harnessing the potential, in this sector is commendable, and particularly that you've teamed up with the Congolese. Now, the mineral we are talking about, Honorable Minister, you are aware that it's free for all in regards to lithium in the southern province, because we have not yet devised a proper mechanism to manage that resource. My question to you, has government undertaken, deliberately to understand how much of the lithium resource we have around the country, and have you come up with a deliberate policy to manage this resource? Because very soon it will deplete at the hands of those who have gotten it free, as the case is. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Beyond lithium, Madam Speaker, it is every mineral resource that we are trying to structure a database of how much resource we have in this country. My ministry, working in collaboration with the Ministry of Mines and Ministry of Finance, are putting an aggregation center of how much every resource we have, be it copper, and how much it will contribute to our GDP, be it lithium and manganese. So to respond to the good question from the Honorable Member from Nkana, indeed.
Sorry, Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister for Local Government and Rural Development has indicated for a point of order. What's the point of order?
Madam Speaker, I want to first apologize to the colleague, the Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry. But at one point I felt like maybe I was hallucinating, but I think I heard the MP from Ghana saying that the harvest, putting it in my own words, of lithium in southern province is free for all. Now, I'm rising on order number 65, and also from the members' handbook that innuendos should not be permitted to flow on the floor of this House. So unless the minister really understands what this free for all perception is all about, I would like to find out whether or not the member of parliament from Ghana is in order to say that in southern province the harvest of this product is free for all, because I come from there myself, and I'm not aware about this free for all. I seek a ruling from you, Madam Speaker, for the member to substantiate. I need your protection, Madam
Order,
Speaker.
honorable members. Honorable members, can we listen to
Because
the point
if I
of
rise, it will be sad for him.
order? Honorable member for Nkana, please. Can we have some order? Let's allow the minister.
I needed protection, Madam, just for administrative purposes, but I can handle him myself if he proceeds. I seek your ruling.
Order. I'm sure we can. Being the last day, we had all these, how many, almost a month, 2 months of seeing each other, you didn't handle each other. Why should we handle him today? So, Honorable Member for Nkana, I heard you say that it's free for all. I was wondering, you did not provide and state what you meant by the word free for all. Please, in accordance, I didn't ask you. In accordance with Standing Order 65, you have to give, when you are giving facts before the House, they must be verifiable. So you did not give anything to support that free for all that we were talking about. So your question will be answered by the Honorable Minister, but please withdraw that free for all in Southern Province.
Madam Speaker, free for all is expressive. He knows.
No, withdraw the word free for all because it has got some implications. Somebody can misunderstand it.
Okay, Madam Speaker, much obliged. I have withdrawn the free for all. I want to replace it by unguided mining. You don't want me to replace it? Are you the judge?
No, I said
are you the speaker?
Order. Honorable Member for Nkana. Honorable Member for Honorable Member for Nkana, you are out of order. You are out of order. Please, can we have some order? Can we have some order? May the Honorable Minister continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, we are a responsible government that are putting aggregation and taking account of all mineral resources that we have. And the more reason why, Madam Speaker, we are embarking on this project, we should give value addition to the mineral beneficiation that we have in this country. So what we have, Madam Speaker, is, or should I say, are sufficient mineral resources to make sure that the industry is sustained. I submit.
Thank you. Can we listen to the answers because we don't want to repeat. We have a lot of work before us, and I will not, it will not be an ending. I will allow a few questions and we move to the next item. The Honorable Member for Sakiri.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to ask a question to the Minister of Commerce. Madam Speaker, the good people of Usakire constituents and Zambia at large appreciate the coming of this lithium battery. However, they are concerned that it has been taken to Ndola, where a lot of huge infrastructure has been placed. For example, the international airport.
Order, Honorable Member, ask a point of clarification. Do not debate. Ask a point of clarification.
I just want to preface my question, Madam Speaker. And just last month, the Minister of Health was doing a groundbreaking for the cancer hospital. Minister of Commerce, why has your government brought the Salisbury syndrome, where resources that are produced in different towns is taken to other towns to develop other towns? Why not press it in Kitwe, especially that most of the minerals except lithium are coming from Kitwe, minerals like copper, cobalt, which are very key to this industry. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Order. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Madam Speaker, my government is very strategic on how we want to bring development into this country. I appreciate the concern by the Honorable Member. When we look at Ndola, what is left in Ndola? It used to be an industrial park, but successive governments have not paid attention to reviving its industrial fortunes. Kitwe, we are so grateful it has got a giant mine which will be given back life soon in the name of Mopani. But in Indola, there is nothing but has only been left as a logistic hub. And it is our ambition as a new Dawn government. Yes, sir. Madam Speaker. The MP is still
Order,
protesting.
honorable members, you have asked a question, the minister is answering, and you are interjecting. Is that not in breach of our own standing orders? Huh? Do you need to be reminded all the time? Hmm? Maybe we go to the next question. The honorable member for Mwinilunga. Okay, the honorable minister wants to conclude.
Madam Speaker, thank you. To the honorable member that asked the question, allow me to save you as a minister in the government rather than being a street politician and start exchanging words with you on this platform. So, Madam Speaker,
Order, honorable members, order.
Madam Speaker,
Hey,
I will not.
what's happening to order? Honorable member for Usakili, what's happening? How?
I am responding positively and is attacking me.
Order.
So is this what you're asking for? Eh?
We are going to move to the next item on the, yes. Order. Order. Thank you very much, the Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry. I have also permitted the Honorable Minister of Technology and Science to make a ministerial statement. The Honorable Minister of Technology and Science. Order, honorable members. You want to go and spend the last day outside or what? So if it's NDC, what does it matter to you? No. That's not. Why are you jealous of other people? That's jealous. Let's have peace. Let's learn to live together in harmony. May the minister continue.
Madam Speaker, I wish to thank you for giving me the opportunity to render a ministerial statement on the construction of mobile communication towers. The government recognizes the critical role that information communication technology, such as mobile communication towers, plays in accelerating socio-economic growth and development. In order to build a digital economy, mobile communication towers play a pivotal role in ensuring that the required ICT-based services reach our people in an effective and efficient manner. The increase in ICT uptake demonstrates that our people are ready to adopt and utilize ICT-based services in this country. However, the current mobile communication towers are not sufficient to support the required ICT services and demands. We owe our people, through their members of parliament, answers and solutions to the communication services challenges our people are facing. To this effect, the government plans to construct mobile communication towers in all parts of the country to ensure enhanced communication coverage to all underserved and unserved areas. Madam Speaker, to achieve the 96% target mobile communication coverage by population articulated in the 8th National Development Plan, my ministry is proceeding methodically with purpose, delivering outcomes that will improve the lives of our people, communities, and businesses. To this effect, my ministry has undertaken the following. 1. A countrywide digital infrastructure gap analysis, which include mobile communication towers, was completed in 2022. This was conducted in order to establish the digital infrastructure connectivity gaps in underserved and unserved areas across the country. 2. The gap analysis report was shared with the members of parliament for their input on priority areas. I wish to thank all members of parliament for their cooperation and input. It made our work easier to plan the rollout of mobile communication towers. 3. Following the prioritization by members of parliament, surveys of the nominal sites were conducted to obtain the actual coordinates of the proposed location where the towers will be installed. 4. In this regard, the survey data will be used as input for the procurement process that will commence within 2 months. Currently, a procurement process for 31 mobile communication towers is in progress. Madam Speaker, government in collaboration with the private sector will construct a total of 300 mobile communication towers in unserved and underserved areas this year, 2023. Madam Speaker, to enhance mobile communication coverage and improve quality of service and experience, government will also use a combination of innovation solutions. Madam Speaker, the countrywide rollout of mobile communication towers shall provide the following benefits to our people. 1. Reduced cost of traveling and doing business due to enhanced mobile communication services. 2. Online registration and payment of business and filing of annual performance returns. 3. Online registration and payment of cooperatives and filing of annual performance returns. 4. Online registration of clubs and societies and filing of annual performance returns. 5. Online filing and payment of ground rents. 6. Online registration of motor vehicles and vehicle licensing, such as road tax. 7. FISIP SMS notification and alerts. 8. Mobile notification using short messaging services, SMS. 9. Digital payments of social cash transfer using mobile money. And 10. Online Zambia Revenue Authority tax and customs filing and payments. And 11, Madam Speaker, for our people to simply say, hello, how are you doing, will be made easier. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, I wish to assure our people through this August House that government is working in partnership with the private sector and is committed to rolling out mobile communication towers using appropriate technology. The mobile communication towers, Madam Speaker, shall have both voice and internet, which will enable citizens to experience quality, affordable communication and effective electronic services. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that statement. Before we proceed to points of clarification, Honorable Member for Chilubi, you have indicated you want to raise a point of order. What's the point of order?
Madam Speaker, the legislature has the manner in which it operates, and I think looking at that, when statements like the one the Honorable Minister brought in the House are supposed to be in agreement with both the Constitution and the Standing Order. If
Order, Honorable Member, we have crossed that bridge. And that statement, that's why I terminated, because it was causing
Madam
a lot
Speaker,
of...
it's a very serious breach.
No, I've already dealt with the issue. Let's not open... Let's not open the wounds, please. Can we... Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your understanding. We go to... Members are now free to ask questions on points of clarification on the ministerial statement given by the Honorable Minister of Technology and Science. The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the ambition by the Minister, it's great and well supported. And I wish the UPND government all blessings so that they succeed in this project. My question, Madam Speaker, is we are talking about 300 towers to be constructed. This is a big project. It's not a small project. I wish to know when will the construction of the towers will start and how many contractors have been engaged, because we are talking about this year, meaning we are not constructing these towers next year. So if it's this year, how many contractors have been engaged and when we will start this?
Only one question, Honorable Member. You have asked 3 questions. The Minister will answer when are the towers going to be constructed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I said in my statement that for the first 31, we already advertised and we are doing an evaluation as we speak, and we expect that the evaluation will be finished in about 2 to 3 weeks' time. And we had 3 contractors that bid for these 31 towers. I've also said that within the next 2 months, we are going to embark on the process of tendering 4 communication towers. To remove any ambiguity, we shall put a tender for 130 communication towers. In terms of how many contractors we are going to use, let's wait until we get a response from the tender, then we can answer the question. I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, you did indicate that working towards a target of 96% by population coverage, you have taken about 4 or 5 steps, and one of the steps that you have taken is to undertake a gap analysis. Now, Honorable Minister, a gap analysis is a very technical exercise. I know you requested members of Parliament to submit areas where they feel there's need for better communication. Have the experts, the people that are trained to do an assessment of where communication is poor, has ZICTA, has your ministry, have the technocrats done their own independent gap analysis, away from what we, the politicians, would be able to state? Because if I'm asked today, tell me where we need better communication, I'll tell you in every section of my constituency. But have we allowed the experts, the people that are trained to do the actual technical analysis, to verify the areas that are top priority in terms of communication towers? Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Technology and Science.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Only to give the confidence to the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kamfinsa, that if there's something that we don't lack in this country, is competence and experts to deliver output, and more specifically, technical experts, both in ZICTA and also at the ministry. In fact, we are overflowing with such experts, so just feel comfortable. I did indicate in my statement that the starting point was to undertake a desktop analysis. We needed then to confirm this desktop analysis by going on site, getting the input from the members of parliament. Having done that, the members of parliament assisted us in giving us input and say the priority in my constituents is X, is Y. Taking that as a method, then we are saying we are now going to cite the positions of the towers. So it's a collective effort of the technical experts, members of parliament, and government providing the resource to execute. And that is how we are proceeding. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Lundazi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving a chance to the people of Lundazi to ask a follow-up question to the Minister of Technology. The issue of innovation and technology is an issue which hinges on gender equality. That's why the theme for this year's Women's Day celebration was entitled Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. The question that I have for you, Honorable Minister, is you have indicated that they are first doing 31 towers. Those are the ones which are on stake before you go to the other 269. My question to you is, which areas, or should I say, is Lundazi amongst those getting the first 31 towers, especially that I'm a female member of parliament? I submit.
The Honorable Minister of Technology and Science.
Madam Speaker, this government has placed a lot of currency on gender equality. And in fact, in everything we do in innovation, we try to promote as much participation of gender. 2 weeks ago, when we were doing the innovations, out of the 50, unfortunately, 82% of the recipients were men. And the only reason was that we need to break some of the barriers, the gender barriers. Most of our girls in schools tend to tilt to subjects other than science, and therefore are not in the innovation space. So I would want to urge the Honourable Member of Parliament to assist us, to encourage the girl child at school to undertake STEM subjects, because that is where the beginnings of equality begin. If you don't do that, you are going to be mourning about gender equality. With regard to communication towers, giving due respect to gender, the distribution will be on those most critical in need. And if Lundazi happens to be most critical in need, regardless of gender standing, we shall plant a tower. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Itej.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving an opportunity for the people of Itej to ask a follow-up question to the Minister. Minister, on the 30 initial towers, what criteria are you going to use on which critical areas to start with, considering the fact that some of our constituencies in the next...
As the time is 10:40, I suspend business for 20 minutes for a health break.
The House has taken a 20 minutes health break, and business is expected to resume at 11 hours. So far, we look at what has been discussed on the floor of the House.
And so we had three announcements. In the first announcement, Madam Speaker informed the House that she received communication to the effect that in the absence of Her Honor the Vice President, who is attending to other government business, the Honorable Minister of Defense, Honorable Ambrose L. Rufuma MP, has been appointed acting leader of government business in the House.
There was another announcement in which the Honorable Madam Speaker has informed the House that the National Assembly of Zambia is conducting a survey whose aim is to determine service delivery at the National Assembly Members Motel. And the survey is designed to capture feedback relating to the facilities and services at the motel. And in this regard, a self-administered questionnaire will be distributed in the House today, Friday, 31st March 2023, and that all members are requested to complete the questionnaire and deposit them at the main reception desk before the House adjourns today.
In the third announcement, Madam Speaker informed the House that the Vice President of the United States of America, Madam Kamala Harris, will this afternoon pay a courtesy on the Honorable Madam Speaker as part of her official visit to Zambia. And so this announcement is for the information of the House.
And after the announcements, there were rulings that have been rendered on the floor of the House, and one of the rulings, and Madam Speaker pointed out, this was based on a point of order raised on Friday, 24th March 2023 by Honorable J.J. Mwimbu, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, against Mr. Enchilangwa, Member of Parliament for Kawamba constituency, for alleged that the Sujilite in Kabwe had gone missing.
In the second ruling, this was on a point of order raised on Thursday, 16th March 2023 by Honorable Garin Kombo, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, against Honorable B.M. Munduvile, Leader of Opposition, and Mrs. S. Kampiongo, Patriotic Front Party Whip, for allowing members of the Patriotic Front to abscond from sittings of the House.
And so details of the rulings will be given to you later. And the House is expected to continue sitting after the break. For now, we take a break.
Ms. Princess Kasune is Kembe Member of Parliament under the United Party for National Development, UPND. She was first elected as Kembe Member of Parliament in 2016. She won the seat again in 2021. She is the Deputy Chief Whip and sits on the Standing Orders Committee and Reforms and Modernization Committee. Ms. Kasune is outspoken and her bubbly personality is so captivating. I sat down with her to find out exactly what her new role, that of Deputy Chief Whip, entails. She also had a say regarding women in decision-making positions.
I'm Honorable Princess Kasune. I'm a Member of Parliament for Kembe constituency. This is my second tenure. I was the first female Member of Parliament for Kembe constituency since independence. And as of 2021, when we actually won as a New Dawn government, I was also given a privilege to serve as the first ever Deputy Government Chief Whip in the Parliament of Zambia. And so that is a position I also hold on top of being a Member of Parliament for Kembe constituency. And also I think a lot of people have known me as a person who really came out in the open as early as 1998 when I learned that I was HIV positive in 1997. I really felt it was important to put a human face to people living with HIV. So a lot of people have known me as a first Member of Parliament also to have been public about my HIV status of being HIV positive. So I have lived with HIV for over 25 years now. And also I am the founder of an organization called Fountain of Life Africa, which really actually spurred me on to even be a Member of Parliament, because its objective or mission was to build schools and clinics, and now we have even built a hospital in the Chiuni area of Kembe constituency, sponsoring students to schools and university at that time. And really, I continue to be an advocate on pediatric HIV among youths and adolescents, and just advocating for women's inclusiveness in leadership positions, especially in governance and the political arena.
Ms. Kasune is married and has 3 children. She beams with delight as she talks about being a grandmother.
I'm also a grandmother now. My grandson, Prince Jaime, so he's my namesake. I felt honored to be named while I'm still alive, and that's my first grandson. It's just so sharp. And then I've got 3 children, biological children, Joyce Zulu and Faith Zulu. They're both married. Joy is married to a gentleman from Mexico, and Faith is married to a gentleman from Cambodia. Even both of them are Americans, so it's become a United Nations. And so yeah, that's my background, and of course my son, who I had when I was almost 40 years. His name is David Kulangila Shofeneka. He just turned 8 years. Again, it was such a, what can I say, another phase of my life where I chose to have a child at almost 40 years, and also already knowing that I was HIV positive. It just goes on to show that women living with HIV can have children healthy and HIV negative, which wasn't the case when I learned my status in 1997.
She is concerned with the low number of women parliamentarians, a situation she feels needs to be addressed.
I am talking now as the Zambian Parliamentarian Women Caucus chairperson. That is a caucus for all female parliamentarians. As we speak right now, there are only 22 members of parliament who are female, from both the ruling party and the Patriotic Front, and of course one independent member, Honorable Given Katuta. And then when you add the vice president, who's the leader of business in the House, you add the 2 speakers, our first ever female speaker, Right Honorable Nelly Muti, as well as Honorable Chisangano, who is our first deputy speaker. We are 25 in total, against the 56 members of parliament, and against the 8 who are added because they're nominated. So in this 2021 parliament, it has reduced the members of parliament from 18% to 15%. And so we have a challenge at hand. We still have to continue to advocate for more women to see it okay, if I may use that word, to run for political office. But I think more importantly, regardless of which forum you go to, they are throwing the ball back to the parties. As long as our SGs, our political leaders do not see the essence or the importance of including safe seats, for example, of creating a zebra system, or the 50-50 representation as it's known, will forever lag behind as women. So one of my legacy goals as a chairperson for the Zambian Women Parliamentarian Caucus is to ensure that first and foremost, I try my best to support women regardless of their political affiliation.
Ms. Kasune is of the view that women should not feel intimidated to join politics.
You know, we come from a patriarchal society, so already some of these things are already unspoken, are already set out. So for example, if there are 25 people who should be on the table, there are unwritten rules or unspoken culture biases towards supporting fellow men, and then maybe they would say, at least we can have 5 women or 3 women. And somehow as a woman, once you reach in that circle, that's why sometimes women feel like, okay, I need to protect my space, because unspoken, it's already determined that there will only be 5 women. So I think one of the things we need to try and push for as women, especially those of us who may find us at the table, to say, but why is it okay that there are only 5 women against 25 or 30? Because really the population shows us that there are more women than men. And when it comes to the voter patterns, there are more women than men. So I think it's high time that we begin to demand to be at the table, But because of cultural, again, socialization, where as a woman you have to be reserved, as a woman you shouldn't be too ambitious, it's seen as a negative. Really, that has to die in us if we are going to achieve the 50-50 representation or the zebra system that a lot of countries are now actually implementing.
She now talks about how she got the news regarding her appointment as Deputy Chief Whip.
The way it happened to me, I wasn't aware of it because I thought, okay, the announcements have passed, you know, because only the president and whoever he chooses have the power to appoint and disappoint. So I was like, okay, I continue as a backbencher, and then it also gives more time with the constituency. And then when I came to the House, I think it was the Minister of Foreign Affairs who said, oh, my sister, your name has been called out as a, he said, congratulations, you are now the Deputy Chief Whip. I was like, what? What are you talking about? I didn't even take him serious. And so when I came into the House again, I heard of that. It took me time to sink in because I would have never seen myself as a whip. I don't think I even paid attention to what they do, apart from the fact that the opposition whips then, Honorable Gary was one of them, Honorable Msokotwani was one of them, Honorable Lufuma was one of them. And so they were whipping us from opposition. And so the closest image that came was Tutu Angulube, because, and may his soul rest in peace, because he was a deputy chief whip. And we happened to come from the same province. And so I called him. And I said, Honorable Tutu Angulube, you were a deputy chief whip in the opposition. What do I need to know? And I'm glad I did, because unfortunate, such a vibrant leader, we lost him. And another person that I reached out was Honorable Mundubile, because he was also once a whip. So I also spoke to him. He gave me his own ideas. And then, of course, Garin Kombo, Honorable Garin Kombo, actually for him, not only did I ask him personally, but I invited him to come and also speak to our new members who were able to listen on the roles of the whip. So the news really came in a very abrupt sense. To this day, I've tried to ask you who really nominates the whips, but I've come to find out the party plays a role, and of course the president, I'm sure the vice president somewhere. So I have really enjoyed my role. It can be very demanding because you are dealing with adults, you are dealing with ministers, you are dealing with members of parliament who have their own ideas.
All right, so once in a while we get to see you whispering from, you know, talking to this member of parliament, the other member of parliament. We wonder what you talk about.
Well, you know, I've always been a people's person, and I hope I end my political career as who I am. Because for me, I think one of the things that I've learned very early is that the offices always have an expiry date. And with the moment you assume office, the expiry date already start counting. Secondly, political officers are forever admired by others. The moment you win, your opponents have also started the campaigns. So it is that area that for me, reaching out to all Zambians, all lawmakers is very critical. I'm glad that now it has become a positive for me. I hear a lot of people give me feedback, say, wow, that's good that you don't just whip your side, you also go to the opposition, which is the PF. We see you talking to the independents, and they reach out to me. Sometimes they come to this office, sometimes we meet in the member's office, and sometimes we are together in other caucuses, like the caucus on SRHR, where we talk about the importance of, you know, sexuality education, HIV and AIDS, teenage pregnancy. So I've got these networks that I've built. But when I was in opposition, that was actually negative. Because every time I reached out to the PF, you could literally feel the eyes following you at the back. Like, there she goes. Is she really UPND? You know, and I think those who really sat together to put me as a whip or as a government chief whip, deputy, I feel that maybe they must have considered how overreaching I am. And those are my politics, and that's just who I am. I hope that people